Have I filmed this video before? Yes. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like I looked good, which isn't that important, but at the same time, if I'm gonna put something out there, I want it to be my best work. So this is just a chat, and I'm redoing it because I think it's a really important one, and when I was editing the last one that I filmed, I just felt like it wasn't my best work. I really want to make sure I say all of the things I need to say. Here we go. I thought I was straight for a really long time. I spent most of my life believing that it was a choice to be gay. I obviously know that that's not correct, but that's just kind of just the way that my life was. I realized at some point I really tried to start being an ally, and then it just crossed my mind a couple times. That I may be into women. And one of those times, I have a friend. I know who she is. And I just really wanted to be her friend, which was fascinating because I'd had friends before, but I was just like I need this girl to be my best friend. Now, like, we are really close now, which is why she knows the story. I really just tucked that away. I was like, what if? And then I was like, oh, no, because I was 11. So I tucked that away. And then I think a couple times in high school I was like, and my friend said, no, you're straight. I even had a friend in high school who also knows who they are say, if I know one thing, it's that Cami is straight. And I said, you're right. So when I realized I was bi, they were one of the first people I came out to, and I said, remember that one time when you said, and they said, oh. So that was a fun interaction. But the moral of the story is that I'm bi. This is not a coming out video, it's just a story. But it's a story about me coming out. Not really even of me coming out, just of me realizing that I was bi. Look at my nails. They're so cute. They're little ghosties. So in high school, when I was 15, I started dating a guy that I dated until I was 18 and a half. 4 months before my 19th birthday, we broke up. And that doesn't have anything to do with this story. Well, it does. It's relevant to the story, but our breakup doesn't. I just wanted to say that we're not together anymore. That's all. But I just never really thought about my sexuality for a long time at the time that a lot of people do, because I was in a serious and committed relationship, so there was no need. I was like, I'm gonna marry him. Like, there was just no reason for me to think anything like that, or even explore my sexuality. So when we'd been dating for over 3 years, and I was like, I think I might be attracted to women. And it's interesting enough to come to terms with having a completely different sexuality than you thought, but it's weirder to explore that while being in a committed relationship, because when you're in a relationship, you don't really think about, like, oh my gosh, like, am I attracted to this person? You don't. Like, if you are, that's cool. Like, you can just be like, oh wow, that person's really attractive, and then you move on with your life. To really explore your sexuality, you kind of have to dwell on that attraction, and I like really held off on doing that. So it took me a long time, but I finally was like, oh, okay, yeah, like, I definitely would date women. Lesbian TikTok definitely helped me with that. So it just was really interesting for me to kind of work through that. Once I realized, like, let's move to post-realization, I was like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this information, you know? Fun fact, I realized I was bi and came out to my sibling on the day, January 5th, the day of the inauguration. But yeah, it honestly felt nice to have that thing that had been in the back of my mind for a long time really be solidified, and like, this is a label that I feel comfortable with. And labels aren't for everyone, but I'm a little, I need things to be labeled, so that just works out for me. I liked it, but there was part of me that had always tried to be such a strong ally to the LGBTQ community, which I'm not saying that I really was. I think there were a lot of things, and still are, that I'm working on, but I think, like, I don't know that myself now would consider who I was then an ally. I considered myself like not at all part of the LGBTQ community. So feeling like I fit in was really weird to me, and it took a long time to settle into. So I think one thing that I took away from that is that when you have somebody who's coming out for the first time, coming out to themselves, which is, I think, something that I haven't heard about a lot, like this process of coming out to yourself. A lot of people are like, oh, did you always know you were gay? Like, yeah, I did. Or like, yeah, when I was 7. But for me, because I fit into the normal, like, I like boys, like I had a boy crazy stage for years. So I just like never considered it. And so really important thing to consider in conversations about the LGBTQ community and within the community is that there are people who don't know for a long time. And I know, like, on TikTok there are a lot of people who are like, I realize that I'm bi and I'm a married woman and I have kids and, you know, I love my husband. But just for me, like, at the time that I was like thinking through this and realizing it, I never really heard of, I just felt out of place because I was like, man, I didn't have like this awakening when I was 6 or even when I was 11. Like, I was 18. And so I just felt a little out of place. Of course, I decided to do some community searching. Like, I knew it was out there because, like I said, lesbian couples on TikTok really helped me make this realization. So I said, I'm gonna find a community out there. Honestly, what happened after that is what I really want to talk about, because this is about like my coming out to myself and like realizing I was bi, but a lot of that process involved coming across biphobia for the first time. It's kind of mostly what I want to talk about, because I want to preface this by saying I know that every part of the community has its struggles and go through a lot of similar struggles, but I think this is just what I can speak to because I'm bi. But yeah, I searched a lot on TikTok. Really fun because you can really search stuff, and I honestly didn't find anything where it was by women who actually like men, which was hard because I was in a relationship with a man. Still thought I was gonna marry him, like, and like I didn't think I was ever gonna be with a woman. And so to find mostly people who are like, I like girls 99% and 1% men, or even what I saw the other day that was like, I'm bi, which means I like women and I tolerate men because I'm attracted to them. I'm as feminist as the next person, and I have a lot of beef with men, and there are a lot of problematic men, arguably many. I've found some gems, you know, and they all have their problems, of course, but like I genuinely enjoy dating men when I find good ones. Like, why did that feel controversial to say? What? This is the problem. We joke about hating men so much, and like, okay, maybe you do, but also like within the bi community, and so like it was just really upsetting to come across because I felt like I wasn't really a part of the community because I wasn't lesbian. And like, if you're lesbian, that's great, but I wanted the bi community to be people who are bi, and it was very sad. And honestly, it was really hard because I was already feeling like I wasn't really a part of the LGBTQ community, and so I was just like, oh, like, I guess I'm not attracted enough to women. Keep in mind, I'd never done anything with a woman, not even a date, which I have gone on several dates with women now, and I've kissed a girl, and like, it's very like I am feeling secure in my sexuality now. But I wasn't at the time because I had been dating a man for 3 years. So there was no room for other experiences there, and all I was seeing was these people who were like not really bi if you actually like men. I'm like, do you hear what you're saying? Yeah, so that's the gist of what I wanted to talk about. I just think there could be a lot more space for people who date men and are attracted to men in the LGBTQ community. That being said, as soon as those words came out of my mouth, like, potentially women who date men are some of the least marginalized members of the LGBTQ community from the outside. But especially if you grew up religious, there's just that same disappointment in yourself in the back of your mind that's like, okay, like, you're in a relationship with a man, but you're still gay, and that's not okay. And so to not even have a community to let you in is sad. And I really can't complain about my experience with, like, the actual LGBTQ community around me, like actual people in my life, because I have people who genuinely hate men and genuinely would never date a man and are non-binary and are trans and who really love me, and I feel very accepted by them, and I really feel like I have a space there. But I just think that this biphobia and honestly bi erasure needs to be talked about, and it's my experience, so I just wanted to share that. I feel like I had some other things to say, but I can't remember them right now. So yeah, honestly, I think that's it. That is just kind of my experience with the beginning of the LGBTQ community, and I'm doing great. I feel really good about my sexuality, and I am honestly, like, not dating right now. Because I like being single. Well, so I go through this cycle. This is so much information. Maybe I'll just put this at the end, like a little blurb if you want to know a lot of information about my life. But the gist of it is, I get bored living my independent single life that I truly love because I am an attention whore. And when I get bored, I download a dating app and I talk to people that I'm not interested in having in my life, and then they actually want to talk to me, and then I have to ghost them. Don't come for me on the ghosting thing. You won't change me. I don't want to hear it. You don't want to say it. And I'm not going to listen. It's just a sad cycle. And then I do this a couple times and I'm like, it's time to delete the app. You want to be alone. So I delete it. And then I get bored. And the cycle begins again. So that's your too much information. You're welcome. Anyway, if you watched this far,